Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Koi. Hi, Seth. Hi, Bolatito. How are you?
Hello, doing good. How are you too?
Wonderful. Let me just turn
Hello,
my...
Fofo. It's been a while. How are you doing?
Yeah, doing well. How are you?
Yeah, good to know. I'm doing great. Thank you.
Hey, yeah, it seems like ages. I don't know why. We had a power
It
session
feels
last
like
month, but it seems like
ages.
many waters have passed under the bridge.
Really, that's the way I feel. It's been a while.
Yeah, I missed
Me
you ladies
too.
so much. Sephora, how are you?
I
Hi. All you Lagos people that refuse to meet, I would have appeared in the spirit, but somehow that meeting is just dodging everybody like bulletproof.
I know. Guilty.
Yeah, but how have you been?
I have been well. Thanks, Fofo.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome. Oh, we have a Fosse today as well. Yes, we're probably going to have a full house today, I'm hoping, so we can say hello to one another and find out how we've all been doing, trailblazing, living boldly, left, right, and center, juggling your world and all things that are in between. So how would you describe you know, how do you describe the last 1 month? How's that going for you? My word will be yeah, maybe I'll use the word mobile. Maybe I'll use the word mobile because over here, because we had about 18 months lockdown at some point. So now that the borders are open, everyone wants to get back to business, get to see their clients and stuff. So I have been traveling a bit across the states just to see team members that I've not been able to see. And I got back on Friday. I'm going out again in another few hours from now. So it's a mobile time on my side, just with lots of travel. So Sephora, what's going on your side?
Uh, Hi. Let me see. I think I'll use the word, I don't want to say messy, but kind of intense for me. So, since our last conversation, where you were kind enough to give me 30 to 45 minutes, it triggered something. So I started a lot of, and again, I admit that I think I left a lot of things unattended all these years, just thinking doing the work and doing the job was okay. So it's more, apart from being very busy and traveling every week to Abuja and back to Lagos, I had to also focus on self-mastery and pursue it with intention. So since we last talked, I participated in that online program by Bankole Williams,
Yeah.
and it triggered something. And that's how, I just got into the whole, you've been sleeping, wake up, and so it's reading. And of course, this was one of the first books I finished. I was going to write an epistle to all of you. Thank you very much for sharing. So this is my thank you. I think it's better given in person. Thank you very much for your
Yay.
stories and for taking the time out to write this. It was one of the first books that I finished in 2 weeks, and then I've been on a roll. So messy in the sense that it's a lot of internal cleaning and cleansing. And it was more of your cues than what you said when I talked about my work situationship. So it was more of the vocal and the non-verbal cues you made that made me realize, okay, there's something there. You need to figure it out and get out of it before taking a bold step.
Wonderful.
And that in itself is a bold step. So thank you very
We
much.
celebrate messiness, we celebrate movement, we celebrate moves, we celebrate it all starts on the inside. Every single thing starts on the inside. And we applaud your courage to go in and push that
Thank
baby
you.
out. And when I say baby, I mean those dreams and visions and the fullness of you, the fullness of who God has made you. And we
that's
trust
how I
that.
feel.
Yes, He will continue to sustain you on this process, and we look forward. We're not waiting till the end result. We already can see you shining
Baby
already.
steps.
So please, a round of applause for Sephora. Please make her feel that we appreciate and we understand and the joy that's going on in between. That's wonderful. Woo! All right. Let's go to I see Bola Tito, but let me skip you first and go to Konyi. Konyi, what's been going on your side?
I think just like Sephora, it's been intense and a mix of learning. So in terms of intense, I've been having multiple projects. So it's been how will I put it? What word would I use? It's been interesting having to juggle these multiple projects, but I'm grateful for the opportunity and the fact that I'm also learning in the process. So I would say it's been intense and a period of learning for me.
Wonderful, wonderful. And we're sending you lots of energy for the intense period. What I found, yes, let's do some hearts and love.
Thank you.
Trailblazers are never without without help and without work to do, right?
Yes.
But setting those priorities and being able to manage them is a key part of that. So wonderful to have you with us today, and we look forward to having a great time too. Efosi, how's it been on your side?
Oh, hello.
Hey.
It's been, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. It's been, the last month has been, I'd say, maybe, exciting and overwhelming in a good way, though. I am in the process of transitioning out of my current job. So I'm literally on my last week. And it's been overwhelming in the sense that, I've worked in this company for 6 years and I love the company. I love the people that I work with. So leaving, it's a bit difficult, but it's for a good cause. On the other side as well, it's also just a bit overwhelming how much the feedback I'm getting, with leaving, and I am being celebrated a lot. So it makes me feel very good. So it definitely makes me feel like I've been doing something right. So I have been having a good month, and still having a great month. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yay, claps all around, everyone in phases. So yours is another transition as well. And I applaud your courage for venturing into something else. Actually, this is the time, if there's ever a time you've been thinking of a change in career path or a change in jobs, or you're just reassessing life, this is the time to do it. It takes courage to do that. But the situations and the circumstances around us can push and channel the attention that you need to really look into that situation. And it's not for everybody. There's some of us who are in fabulous jobs. So also be conscious of the season of life you're in, and don't just, hesitate or jump the gun because everyone else is doing it. It's just that for many people, it's a season of transition. For some of us, you probably just got into a great job, you're doing well. Don't shift your season, okay? Enjoy your season to the best of the ability, and we'll see how that goes. All right. I see Amaka Morenike joining us. You want to say hi? Tell us how the last 1 month has been for you. One word that describes it, and so that we can celebrate you. Anyone can go. Hi, Amaka.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, hello everyone. Last 1 month has been interesting, so to speak. Nothing. I'm also transitioning, but I guess unlike the others, I'm sorry, I missed your name. Sorry, I haven't quite left. So it's a transition in my mind and in process. It's been an interesting 1 month. I think I really spent the last month reevaluating everything I really want to do. I'm setting concrete, actually making some plans for it. I was telling Fumi, I had hooked up with Fumi in Lagos. So I did something very brave. So the last time I was here, we had like I was just doing an interview, you know, and I had a call before then, and then, so I didn't get the job, you know, but I was accessing. Oh, you know, I kept on wondering for like a month, and I know getting my mind crazy. But I actually reached out to the recruitment lead office person, hiring manager, and then we talked about why, you know, and all that. She told me. So that was like a big bold step for me, and good feedback, you know, for going forward. So that really changed. I think that step I took really changed my evaluation of how I want to go things doing going forward. So that was a big, very nice, for me, nice big bold step. So based on that, I really had a lot of proportion and a bit more clarity on what I need to do. And I've taken some concrete steps around that. So it's been a month of
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
direction
Sending you
and
hearts and love as well.
thank
Clarity.
you.
Clarity brings
Clarity.
focus. Clarity brings direction. Clarity brings help and ease. And anytime we can get clarity in whatever we're doing, it makes a lot of difference. So we're sending you lots of hearts and energy for you to keep going through the transition you're going through and making bold moves. Living boldly. Sephora, wave that book again. Some people have not bought that book already too. I'm telling you, even if all you do is put it on your shelf, every time you're looking at it, okay, how can I live boldly today? What can I do, you know, to live boldly today? What can I delete? What can I delegate? What can I defer? Who do I need to connect with? Where do I need a makeover? You know, this is the month of May. Hi, Dr. B. And we're talking about makeovers, makeover and movement. Where do I need to make a move? Where do I need a makeover? Is it in my resume? Is it in my network? Is it in my job? Is it in my fitness and health? And just making those moves as you go. Wonderful. Let's hear from you, where I'm sure our guest speaker will join us soon. Let's hear from you. Bola Sito. Yes, you were first on the call or second on the call. One word that describes your month and what's going on in your life right now. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hi, people. Good evening, people. Okay, and another side of the world. So, talking about the last 1 month for me, it's been revealing. Although I've had more things to do as regards my job, but as regards my own personal life, I remember having a chat with you sometimes, and there's this word that resonates with you about being unstoppable. So in the last 1 month in my career, I've been unstoppable. Then talking about networking, I've been able to reach out to more people. Okay, there's this group I joined. I'm projecting into the future and it's materializing soon. So I've gone ahead to meet people. The line I'll be treading soon. So I've met people and I'm already preparing for my next phase in life. Let me just put it that way. So I'm glad I'm a member of Trailblazer because it has helped me to be bold and to reach out to people I never knew I could ever reach out to. And I've been able to seize the opportunity of having one-on-one with them. And I can say they've been able to hold my hands to get to where I have projected to be in life. And thanks to my mentor, she really did a great job. The mentor-mentee program. So she's helped me in some areas that by the time I start sharing my next phase, I'll be happy for it. Let me just keep it at that.
All right, let the claps and the applause go round. Oh my goodness, there is so much movement. I don't know me, I can feel the fire in this group. Just so much movement going on. But you mentioned something. You mentioned something about reaching out. I was listening to Kunle Shorignon. If you remember, for those of us, Kunle Shorignon is a big mentor to us in Trailblazer Femme. He's been here about 3 or 4 times, always talking about, you know, being futuristic in perspective. If you've not watched any of his sessions, for the newer members, please make sure you watch 1 or 2. You can't listen to him and not feel like there is a shift that needs to go on. And yesterday he was talking, I was listening to his talk on the platform, and he said something. He said, we're used to saying when the going gets tough, the tough gets going, right? But he says that in this time and age, when the going gets tough, the tough collaborate, like the tough network, the tough look for help. And he was just simply saying that this is the time and space where don't try to do things on your own. You have to get your acts together and collaborate. So when the going gets tough, the tough collaborate. And I found that very, very insightful with what he was sharing. All right. And on that note, I can see Dr. B. You want to say a few things?
Yeah, I just want to celebrate everyone. You all are doing amazing. I know in our groups, most of us are just so quiet. You're like, what's going on? But please, please, please share these wins. It encourages you to even do more and to go further in it. And for those of you that are saying, I'm going to share, please go ahead and share it. Share one line, share 2 lines, share a video. Let's celebrate you. And thank you. You guys are doing amazing. Over to you.
All right. So we've got a guest speaker in the house today, and we're going to get started right away so we have enough time and space. I hope you came with your full pad of questions, okay? And I want to just introduce Tope Iluyemi, a very dear friend, colleague, and, inspiring female leader of our century. I would say our century because there are not too many of them. And Tope is a versatile and visionary business leader with a strong focus on corporate governance, a holistic and credible track record of leadership roles spanning across sales, business development, market strategy, supply chain operations, external relations, and government relations across several African countries and the US. She's results-driven. She adapts at building and developing great teams in strategic alignment to organizational goals. And over the course of her 20-year career experience, she's going to be sharing with us some things that she has done in her space with developing new businesses for multinationals, making networks across regions. If there's ever a time to learn from an amazing trailblazer, this is the moment. So ladies and gentlemen, please, I will say gentlemen because I know there are gentlemen somewhere in the spirit. So amazing ladies, please welcome with me Tope Iluyemi to our fireside chat. Woo! Let's make her feel welcome. Hi Tope, how are you?
Hi Folusha, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. Sometimes I listen to it and I'm wondering, oh, are they talking about me?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
We're so glad to have you. And we know that you've been traveling as well. You are a trailblazer. We just finished talking about every single one and the transitions we're all going through, the movements, the progress, and it's great to spend this time with you as well. So we're hoping to learn from you. This month has been a month of career makeovers and movement. We've been talking about areas where people need to make changes, and we're glad to see that everyone has been doing that in their space. So I'm going to go right ahead. Yes, and just, tell us a bit about yourself. I know you a bit, but tell us a bit about yourself, your journey, and we'll probably go from there.
All right, thank you. And then let me say a very warm good evening to all the ladies, and if there's a gentleman or men out there as well. And hi, Dr. B, I saw your note as well. It's great to join you here, and I feel particularly honored. I take every opportunity to tell my story or to mentor other people as a privilege, because there are some of the things that I have learned now over the years. I wish I had someone telling me 20 years ago. But anyway, we're here today, and I think one of the best things that we can do is to share what we have learned so far. So I thank you for inviting me to share my story. Folusha is a friend and a former colleague as well. So she knows quite a bit about me, but I'll try to keep it short. I graduated as a pharmacist, pretty much like Folusha. I think we have quite a bit of that in common. I worked a couple of years as a pharmacist, and then I joined Procter & Gamble. When I joined Procter & Gamble, I thought, it was going to be related to, sales rep, med rep it was called, because Procter & Gamble globally had a number of medicinals. And then I joined and I was given a car and I was given some packs of Pampers and I was sent to Okearing to go and start selling. And that's how I started my sales job in Procter & Gamble. It was a role that I thoroughly enjoyed. I learned a lot and it was really my passion to sell. So, and shortly after that, I got transferred to start expanding P&G operations in West Africa. So I moved to Togo very early on, working with the distributor there and expanding our operations. And of course, things happen. Life, I never stopped living life at any point in time. I was growing, I was learning, and I was also building life. So I got married around that time as well. My husband and I lived in different countries, and we still do, by the way. But I took on my assignment, he took on his assignment. And then after a while, I did ask for a transfer to join him. And then I moved to South Africa and I lived in South Africa. We built a family in South Africa. And after a while as well, I wanted a different experience. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later, but I wanted a different experience and for my young family as well. And then I was offered a job in the supply chain, a very stretching role that I enjoyed as well. I was expanding logistics operations across West Africa at the time. And well, after doing it for 3 years, I decided, okay, this wasn't for me for different reasons again, which I'm sure you will ask me. And the company asked what I wanted. And, you know, I thought, okay, I like change. I like building things from the bottom. I like seeing the impact, you know, of the work that I do. So I said, oh, there's this function called external relations. I really haven't dealt with them much, but I'm willing to learn. Actually, our group president then actually said, you know, I think we could use your contacts here and all that. So I joined external relations. From external relations, the company reorganized and it's called government relations, which is the work I've been doing now for some time. I started off with Greater West Africa and then West Africa and now Sub-Saharan Africa and then Africa. So, and it's been a fun journey. I am a mom of 2 teenagers, a 19-year-old and a 16-year-old. The loves of my life, of course, and my husband as well. And yes, I'm enjoying life to the fullest. Outside of work, I love traveling. I love experiences. I have on my bucket list ticking off the world's natural wonders. I want to visit them all, so I'm ticking them off. I'm also on a board of several companies, either in advisory capacity or as a board member. And so I try to utilize my skill across a broad spectrum of the spaces that I find myself. I've been involved in mentoring. I'm a WIMBIZ mentor. I'm also a mentor for a company called IHS. And, you know, every now and then as well, there are also informal mentoring opportunities that I take as well. And I always tell people that there are mentors all around us. Not all our mentors are formal. In fact, I have a lot of informal mentors. And I have different mentors for different things. So, but broadly, that's me. I've lived in 5 countries: Nigeria, Ghana, Togo, United States, South Africa, and well, I still put ... to that. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, that's so wonderful. Oh my goodness. Okay, now ladies, you have to get your questions ready because there's so much we can get out of Tope in the little time that we have. But something you mentioned, when I look at the journey you've had, right? You've changed career paths, you've lived in different countries, you're married, you've got a family. So tell us a bit about one question I have. When you look at a trailblazing career woman, mid to senior level, who wants to be an executive, who wants to be a board member, who wants to be you know, on different boards and still making impact everywhere she goes, what are the most essential skills that you think in the world of today every career woman must have?
Thanks, Folusha. First of all, you have to realize that you can't be everything. You need to, first of all, define your purpose. Why do you do what you do? Okay, what does it mean for you? It should never be because other people are doing it. Because if you look at it from that angle, then you are actually missing the opportunity to bless the world with your very best, and also for yourself, getting the rewards of bringing out your very best. So for me, that is really where I start. And I always say something as well, that success is actually defined purely by you, okay? For as long as you're making progress and you're happy, in what you're doing, then for me, that is success. Now, having said that, there are some common ingredients to get into wherever you have defined that purpose to be in your own space. One of the first things I would say is, well, especially if actually in any space, whether you're working for yourself or whether you're working in an organization, one key ingredient is communication. And I don't mean, being able to just speak very well. You need to be able to communicate up and down. You need to be able to communicate clearly what you want. Oftentimes, many of us wait to be positioned. Many of us wait to be discovered. I'm sure you might have heard of what we call the Cinderella syndrome. So waiting to be discovered. Somebody's going to find me, or the Sleeping Beauty syndrome. Somebody's going to find me, a Prince Charming is going to come kiss me, and then I'll become a princess. No, it doesn't happen like that. Oftentimes, you have to put in the effort, you have to put in the work, you have to put in a plan, and then you have to pull in all the resources that are required around you to achieve those plans. And then, again, take it from there. So this is what I mean by communication. Oftentimes, women are bypassed because they have not clearly articulated where they want to go. It's not always that, we're just passed over. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen. You still have to work twice as hard to get half of what a man gets. But we are being told, and research has also shown that often, maybe, and it's cultural, we're not direct to say, oh, I would like to have my boss's job in year X. A guy would not shy away from saying that at all. Now, maybe how we say it might be different, but the message should be clear. This is where I'd like to go. So communication up and down is very important. Another thing that I find to be very important is also networking. Networking, both internally as well as externally. So how many people have access to the work that you do? Because when the time comes to climb those rungs, there needs to be many voices speaking up for you. So if people do not know what you do, or they're not aware of your successes, it's not impossible, but it just makes the job a lot harder. It's better when, people are in a meeting talking about you and 2 or 3 people can say, oh yeah, I've had an experience with this person. Now, it's not necessarily people that you work with, but people that you've had exposure to, because every opportunity, every meeting is an opportunity to showcase your skills, showcase what you have learned, and, buy another person to your side, so to speak. So networking is important. And then for those who are maybe entrepreneurs, I'm sure you know that networking is invaluable. A simple meeting, at a casual dinner or at an event has actually been the foundation of million-dollar businesses. That is how it starts, But sometimes we go out, we meet people, but we don't actually use the opportunity. We don't optimize the opportunity for, our own objectives. And again, a lot of it is cultural. Girls are supposed to be seen and not heard. We're supposed to be gentle and all that. Sometimes if you are out and, you're always talking about what you do, you get the label, you're pushy and all that. What I would just say is be true to yourself. There's some people whose nature is quite, they're quite gregarious by nature. They go out there, they can talk to anybody, they can pitch anything. And there's some others who actually have to learn the skills. So, but whichever side you fall into, find the best way to market your ideas, to market yourself as well. I'm sure in this forum, I'm sure you've talked about your elevator pitch and all that. It's important. Continue to refine it, continue to craft it, and make sure that if you do get that opportunity, you're ready. You're ready with your, 5 lines that captures exactly what you do and also catches attention. I think those, you see, I find that in my career, people are the best thing. People are also the worst thing. Okay. So when I say you communicate up and down, you're communicating with people. When I talk about networking as well, it is also about people. The third thing I would mention then is also the value of mentoring and sponsorship. So while we would have cleared the foundation of performance, without that foundation, you're not going anywhere. So that's why I'm not talking much on performance. You are here today because you definitely want to get better and you're doing great at whatever it is you're doing, but you know that you want to get better. So mentoring is very important. Find mentors, both within and outside of your organization. Like I said, I have mentors across different spaces. I also have what I refer to as micro mentors. So my micro mentors are those that I know that have specific skills in certain areas, and I go to them for those specific topics. And mentors are not necessarily always people who are older or more experienced than us. Okay, if somebody has a skill that you don't have and you'd like to know more about it, that person can definitely act as a mentor for you in that space. I also tell people you don't necessarily need to look for all these big names or try and go out of your way to find I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, but it's not the only space. Mentors are all around us. I have utilized so many people in my own corner, and then also realize that sometimes mentorship can also be for a season. People come into your life, maybe at a particular time you were having a particular issue, and this person was the right person to guide you through that. Take it, and if that relationship for some reason fizzles out, not necessarily on a bad note, but that job has been done, it's perfectly okay as well. Don't take anything personal. Respect your mentors' likes and dislikes as well, and also their time. Now, while we use mentorship, to solve specific issues and navigate some of those knotty issues that, it's often not clear to you when you're the one in the situation, the next thing level to that is then sponsorship. As you grow in your career, it becomes more and more difficult if you do not develop sponsors, if you do not have a sponsor, particularly for those who work in organizations. Because when decisions are made about you, you're not going to be there. So you want somebody who is going to be there fighting on your behalf and saying, oh, I know this person, and this person knows more than just your work. This is somebody you have been engaging with. They know about your work. They know about your aspirations. They know where you want to go. So they're not just speaking up about your work. They're also engaging about, we think this opportunity will be right for this person because of so, and so. So you need to cultivate this. You need to develop a plan of, okay, this is where I want to be by this time. Who do I need? And then fill up those spaces. In my kind of role, I call it a stakeholder mapping. So it's the same thing you apply, in your career. You have a stakeholder map of, I need to acquire these skills by this time. These are the resources that I need to acquire those skills. And then in order to get to the next level, I need these people. And then start to cultivate those relationships. Don't do it at the time when you really need something, or you feel that, okay, now I've done all the work, I need to be promoted. And then you start cultivating those relationships. It doesn't come across as genuine. Put it as part of a plan that, you need to engage with all these people, and then, build a relationship so that it works for you in future. I keep in contact with people who, my mentors who were in the company but have now left the company, because these experiences are invaluable. They will now add what they knew when they were in my company, plus what they have acquired since they left. And, the advice they give me is even stronger. So those are the three things that I would say, no matter what you do, try and work on these three areas. And I've found that it helps. One last thing, again, it's about communication. Don't be a bystander in decisions that affect you. Make sure you are contributing, and, don't wait for someone to define, your goals or your career or where you're going. Fine, in some cases it happens that way, but it's always better when you're part of shaping it. So don't be a bystander. Make sure you are participating in your own plans.
Wonderful. Oh my goodness. You said 1, 2, 3 things. I think we picked about 10 or 20, right, ladies? We probably picked 10 or 20, which is awesome. And thank you for being very practical with what you've shared, Tope. So tell us a bit about a defining moment, one in your career and another one in your personal space. Would love to know.
Interestingly, for me, the two are interlinked because, like I said at the beginning, one of the things you need to define for yourself is your purpose. Why do you do what you do? When you wake up in the morning and you go to that job, what makes it kick for you? What makes you stay at it? I have been at P&G for now, it's now about 23 years. And people often ask me, it's not common, although our company is designed that way for people to stay long, but it's still not common. But then I've had, a broad set of experiences, in the company. I've grown, and I really do enjoy the work that I do. Now, when we talk about defining moments, for me, personal work, they're interlinked, because if my personal life isn't settled, there's no way P&G is getting any piece of me, for sure. So everything that I have done has been linked to my family, because that is, for me, is my number one priority. One key moment for me, so if you recall at the beginning, I said that, after about a year of joining P&G, I was transferred outside the country to open up distributor operations. And then I got married. Okay. At the time I got married as well, my husband was living outside the country. What do we do, as young Nigerian wives? We pack up and go, right? We just, we want to be with the person that we love. But, in my situation, we kind of both decided that, okay, it might be good for you to, strengthen your presence on this job. You'd only been there for a year, and, all these opportunities are coming. And it was actually, I didn't think about it. I just thought, okay, now we've gotten married, I'm going to just move and go and join my husband. And then my husband sat me down and said, okay, fine. If you come now, what are you going to do? Do you enjoy what you do? Would you like to progress there? So why don't we do it this way? So he was actually the one encouraging me to say, okay, it's okay. Just let's tell the company what your plans are and see how they can support it, which is what I did. Now, at the time that I did that, I was very young in the organization, and the organization itself was very young. So there weren't a lot of examples for me to say, oh, this is how they do it in P&G. But at the same time, well, I had nothing to lose. I was going to just leave and go and join my husband anyway. So I told my boss that, okay, this is the situation. I'd like, to go join my husband at some point. And he said, oh, don't worry. If you can give us time, we'll work on it. Now, one other thing that, we must also keep in mind is we must never be selfish in our asks. We all want to grow, we all want to progress, but, it needs to be a, give and take, so to speak. If the company is willing to do something, you're also willing to give in a bit. So I said, okay, I can wait a bit while you work on it. And they did work on it. Now, when I joined P&G, of course, I never joined and planned to stay 23 years. My thinking was I would join for a couple of years, this multinational company, understand how they do things, and then obviously I'm off to the next thing. Now, why I call this a defining moment for me was the company demonstrated care for me at the point where I had shared that I had a personal situation, and they went over and above, to accommodate my needs. And that endeared the company to me. And I guess the rest is history after that. So that's why I said, for me, both the personal and the work are both linked. So I hope that answers the question.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, ladies, we're going to open the floor for questions for Tope. And I'll just take one more while I wait for you. I can see Sephora smiling. You obviously have a question. But Tope, you mentioned something, and I just wanted you to talk about career paths and career changes, because this is a time where we see many people rethinking their plans or reevaluating their careers. And some are making changes, either switching companies, staying in the company, getting promoted into other roles, or even switching complete career paths completely. So how did you make your transitions from sales to brand to external relations, which I think you were born for from day one, actually? And yeah, and what advice would you give for anyone who is thinking of, am I in the right path? This is where I really want to go. Where do they start from? What can they do?
Okay, great. Thanks, Folusho. The first thing is to have a very strong sense of self-awareness. What do you enjoy doing? Recall I said at the beginning, define your purpose. Why do you do what you do? Okay, so once you have this high sense of self-awareness on what you'd like to do, then when the options come, you'll be able to analyze what works for you. So in my own case, yes, I studied pharmacy and I did work in the pharmacy for a couple of years, but I decided long ago that I was not going to go into core pharmacy because I have a love for the profession, by the way, but the angle that I wanted to practice wasn't properly set up in Nigeria. So I wanted to, do some very fancy things, Felicia will understand when I talk about, all these very special preparations, but, it wasn't something that was very well developed here. And then I have always admired, the multinational companies. My dad worked in a multinational company, was a managing director for years. So I have seen a bit of the inner workings, and, I used to enjoy, dressing in a suit in the morning and then go to work, which I kind of felt, in my pharmacy, I'll be wearing my lab coat over my fine suit every morning. So I knew I was somebody who wanted to be out there. I wanted to be someone who was facing people and impacting people directly. And when I joined P&G, the first job that I had, which was a sales job, gave me that perfect opportunity. I totally loved it. I worked I was in sales for 10 years across all the different countries that I mentioned. And then life happens. You also have to realize that you need to adapt your needs at every life stage. There are some people, the same thing works for you throughout, but for many people, you need to stop and think. Again, talking about self-awareness. In this life stage, is this what is best for me? Okay. Now, I'll tell you the story about, so I was in South Africa, I was in sales, and then I had kids, okay? My kids were very young. I had 2 kids, and I was also traveling a lot. I did not have the right level of the right social structure and the right level of support. So I decided, you know what, at this stage with the kids, I wanted to go back to Nigeria. And once again, I told the company that, look, this is the situation. For many reasons, for many cultural reasons, for my own sanity, I needed my mommy. In short, that was it. So the company was going to offer me a job, and they said, oh, but we don't have a sales job in Nigeria, but I need your help in supply chain. Would you be willing to do this? And I looked at my boss and said, supply chain, I've never done supply chain. I don't know what it's about. And the guy said, don't worry, we've seen the skills, the leadership skills in you that we need. The rest we'll teach. That is one thing. Again, always be open and adaptable to learning. It just creates more opportunities for you. So, and I had a boss who was willing to support me no matter, look, worst case, if it doesn't work out, we'll find you something else. So I packed my bags. I joined the supply chain organization at a time when a lot was happening in the organization. But, again, I had great support. I had to learn very fast. I had to build a team as well. It all worked out. But in the process, I realized that it wasn't me. It did not suit my personality type. Everybody must understand their strengths, because for as long as you are playing to your strengths, you'll be winning. Now, if you do something that is not exactly within your core strengths, you could still do a very good job, because I did a fantastic job, but it will take a lot more energy out of you. And so while I was doing the job, I was excelling at the job, but it was taking a lot of me just to get those results done. It was a lot of personal sacrifice, and my boss could see it as well. So after 3 years, after I'd been able to put structures in place, I grew the organization from, I think I inherited 5 people. By the time I was leaving, there were 30 people in the team, change systems and all that. And I told him, look, I said, it's not that I can't do this job, but it's not what I want to do long term. And it's not really me. I'm somebody, I want to be out there. I find this job, it was like I was in a cubicle hole and I was serving, the organization in a very closed capacity. So, and that's how they said, okay, fine, we understand that, then you can help us in external relations. And, like Fonisha said, maybe I was born for this. I've enjoyed the external relations, government relations role, and, the role just keeps expanding. So the basic ingredient for me is understand your strengths, okay? Have a high sense of self-awareness and be open about where you want to go.
Understand your strengths, have a high sense of self-awareness and be open. And also, you also mentioned when life happens, learn how to adapt and adjust to it, because there is no situation that is permanent, but at the same time, your self-awareness will help you with that. All right, Amaka, your hand has been up for a while. Go ahead and share your question.
Okay. Hello. I didn't even know my hand had been up for a while. Okay. Hello, Ms. Iluyemi. Pleasure meeting you. A lot of things that we're going to ask, you have just answered. Pleasure meeting you. But I wanted to just ask specifically, just on what you said around how the company, what's your thoughts on specifically that life-changing decision around what the company did. So in a case where I've been in that case and it's kind of defining my path now, I'm in a case where I invested a lot in this organization, 6 years. I was up for a promotion. I had to do with change in location, but I couldn't, for some reasons. And they were not as open as I thought they could have been, and because of that, I didn't get promotion, so to speak, so I'm at a point where I don't feel it's kind of, and because of that, I haven't quite gotten to the next level I need to get to. So I'm at a point where I don't feel it's kind of what's staying back there, so I'm just curious to hear what you think, on that, yes.
So, okay, thanks for raising that question. Remember, I said that when it comes to requesting for change, with the organization, you need to have a level of flexibility. Now, I don't know if at the time that you made the request, if you had, a discussion with your manager on what the company's needs were at that time, and if it actually matched your own needs. So, because I find that these things work when you have a good nexus between the two, so your personal needs and what the company needs. Let me tell you something, nobody does you a favor. If the organization does something, it's because they need it, okay? And if they don't need it, they won't do it. Now, one thing you must also remember is don't take it personal. It is never a reflection of your abilities or your capabilities. It's simply because that's not where the company wants to go. So you then need to decide, okay, what you're doing at this point in time, are you finding fulfillment in it? Does it meet your long-term needs and goals, okay? For as long as you can answer a yes to that, sometimes some of these things is just a matter of time, okay? Sometimes, again, it's about getting to that point where the organization can find the sweet spot between your need and their own need, and then the magic happens. But at every season, analyze, where would you want to be? What are your needs? Are they being met? Okay. We don't work for promotion. Remember, we work so that we can be happy. We work maybe to keep our families. It's not even everybody that wants a promotion. Some people are happy doing what they do because they find fulfillment in it. Define your purpose and then put the structures in place to ensure that you are optimizing your purpose in life so that you can be happy. If people ask me, what is my purpose in life? Is to be happy and for my children to be successful. And then whatever, I've taken career knocks to achieve those objectives. Okay, so some moving around as well has its drawbacks. Sometimes it all looks glitz, glitz and glamour, but it also has its drawback. But for as long as my own objectives are met, I'm perfectly happy.
Thank you for that, Tope.
I hope
Thank
that
you.
answers your question.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr.
All
Daniel.
right.
Thank
Dr. B,
you.
your hand was raised next.
Yes, thank you, Tope. This has been really, really amazing. And I'm sure so many things resonate with the trailblazers on here. One thing that really resonates with me is, understanding your strengths, because each and every one of us is unique, and there's a reason why God gave us the abilities we have. Like, I'm a generally calm person, but even in my calmness, I can make definitive decisions. So I'm in a supervisory position at work, and when everybody sees me first, they talk about the calmness, but when they see me in action, they're like, oh, no wonder this place runs so effectively. Like, she carries a presence and everything. So understanding our strengths is very important so that we can maximize those wherever we find ourselves. I had a question. I just want to hear your thoughts on this. So, many of us, we aim so high to get our dream job and our dream career. And then we eventually get there and we're like, oh my God, how am I going to cope with this, long term and everything? So is there really anything like dream career or dream job?
Well, of course there is. There are some people who from day one have mapped out where they would like to be in life, and they have pursued all the requirements to actually get there. Now, so if you have that, then I guess you have your dream job. This is what you have dreamt of all your life. This is where you want to be. This is what you want to be. So those are the kind of things that I call a dream job. For majority of us, we actually have to adapt and create that dream within the space that we have found ourselves. The important thing is what you make out of the opportunities that you have. I don't really think there are the people who actually envision where they want to be and work to getting there, and 30 years later they are there. I don't even think they're in the majority. I believe that most people actually, you go to school, you find a job, and then from there you start to define, okay, what do I want in 10 years, in 20 years time? But in order to get to what you want in 10 years, 20 years time, you need to start analyzing what are those things that you need to do in order to get there. How do I optimize the space that I'm in today to ensure that I can achieve those 10-year, 20-year goals? For me, it is a step-by-step thing, really. At every stage, you adjust, you analyze again to see, is it still working for me? You check. We have the whole, it's like a whole cycle of, you plan, you envision something, you act it out, and then again, you check at every point, because again, our needs change, they adapt again with life stage. Today you have young babies, after a while, the babies are out of the house, you're on your own, you have more free time. What do I do? So being flexible and adaptable, to change is one skill that I know can help you to, not just survive, but actually to thrive in the spaces that you find yourself.
Wonderful. Thanks, Tope.
Thank you.
All right, I foresee we'll take you as the last one so we can let Tope settle down.
Okay, so
are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you now. How are you?
Okay. I don't really have a question. I just have more like a comment. I just want to say that it's very encouraging to actually hear you not just talk about what to do, but in the examples that you're giving, it shows that you're actually living it. Like when you talk about your knowing your strengths, I like how you are, you're not modest about your contributions or your achievements or your capabilities. You know what they are, you know what you have done, the work that you've put in to get to where you are. And that's something that we see, or with women, that we have a tendency to play small, and that's also what holds us back. So to listen to you has been very encouraging and very inspiring. I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you for
Oh, lots of
saying that. That's a very, very important contribution. It's something that I've had to build as well, because culturally, we are not encouraged to speak up about our achievements. But, you know, if you don't say it, no one is going to say it for you.
trailblazing. So question for you, Tope, before we wrap up. Being a busy career mom, let's talk a bit on that. The question is, do you ever battle the guilt of not giving enough to your family? If yes, how does a young mom overcome? You mentioned you're a mom to teenagers. That's a different season of life, I can imagine. But when they were much younger, how did you overcome that? And even now, what are some things, your tips you can share?
Okay, so this parenting thing never ends. Okay, even though my kids are older now, they need me in different ways as well. You all know that teenage years too can be quite challenging, both for the child as well as for the parent. One thing that I've always done, like I said, my family has always been at the center of everything that I do. One thing that I did early on with the kids was I took them everywhere. I helped them to understand what I do, why it's important, how it impacts them, and just generally showcasing to them that, you know what, you can do it this way. If you want to have a career, find a way to make it work rather than look at the limitations. So for me, again, it's something that I wanted to do. I wanted to have a career, and I also wanted to have a family. I have a supportive husband, which is helpful, of course, but it's not just about that, because oftentimes, when we women, we get out there, we talk and we say, oh, they choose the right husband. Thank God, really, that we have supportive husbands. But whether you do or you do not, there are things that you need to do to ensure that the system works for you. Once you determine you want to have a career and family, just put structures in place to make it work for you. And then make sure that when the kids, you put in quality time with the kids. That, for me, is what is important. What do you do in the little time that you have with them? Do I battle with guilt? Absolutely. And it's something that I was actually coached through as well, because I've always had a very I've always had a very demanding job, that requires travel and all that, even when the kids were young. Remember, I also mentioned in my presentation that when I moved from sales to supply chain, it was because of my life stage. I was struggling, with having 2 young kids outside of the country. I really just wasn't coping. And like I said, I needed my mommy. When I moved to America, by the way, I carried both my parents with me, because I knew that there was no way I was going to be able to cope without having the kind of solid structure that they would have in place for me. So once I know that I have covered all the bases, the guilt tends to be a lot less. Plus, I engage my children in the work that I do. There's hardly anywhere that I've worked that I've not taken my kids to. So my kids actually become advocates for mommy. When mommy comes home on Friday, my daughter defends me like, mommy is sleeping. You call for as long as I'm not there, she will tell you, mommy is sleeping, mommy needs to rest. And why does she do that? Because I have engaged her in. She sees the importance of what I do. She understands why I do what I do and how it also translates to her. Now, a guy mentor of mine, I had discussed this issue with him. I said, the guilt and everything, sometimes you just feel like, he said, do you think that we men who go to work every day, we don't feel this guilt thing as well? We do. I said, so what do you do? He said, well, you think about why you do what you do. You look at the kids and you forgive yourself. So, every time I think about that, I laugh and I'm like, but it's true. Okay, why am I doing what I do? There's a good objective behind it. Hey guys, we're all going to be okay. You forgive yourself and you move on. But put all the right structures in place.
Absolutely. And I like what you said about that, forgiving yourself, because I think sometimes as working mom, there's also that extreme where the guilt becomes almost depression, or it becomes a case where you're almost losing yourself in the process. Because let's be honest, even for working moms who are either stay-at-home moms and all that, it doesn't mean that because you're home with your kids 24/7, they turn out right, or you're the best mom. They still have to go to school. They're still going to grow up. They're still going to, and sometimes because you're away on a trip when it is PTA meeting and all other parents are there at the recital, just like you said, carrying them along on the journey, helping them understand, and they feel proud of the work that you do. And it's also important to just recognize that there are times when we can't eat our cake and have it. Forgive yourself, get the support that you need, and move on. And trust that, as you do that and get the support you need, with God also on your side, things will turn out well. Amaka, you have one thing to say to Tope before we let her go?
Yes, I just wanted to I'm using what she said, just networking. So hello, I'm Dr. Amaka that has been looking for you all over.
Okay.
Yes, I just wanted to introduce myself and say hi.
Go.
And it's nice to meet you and
Lovely
listen
to,
to
lovely to see you.
So
We're going to have
I'll
that
follow up
meeting,
with
like
you
I
on
said.
those platforms. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Awesome session.
Okay.
All right. She just shot her shot. Okay.
I know. I did.
Shot her shot in there.
Such a practical way to round up all the whole mentoring session that we've had.
Yeah.
Yes, we've chatted, and it's really great to put a face to it. I'm so glad I responded on time.
Thank you. All right.
Okay.
Well, we want to say a big thank you to Tope. She just traveled in. She already told you how hectic her job is. We want to give her time to go rest for the weekend. Thank you very much for sharing your time and space with us at Trailblazer Femme. We look forward to connecting with you and just telling you how some of the tips you've shared have helped us in our careers. So please, a round of applause for Tope, and we thank you, and we wish you and your family a wonderful time and the best of the best wishes in your career. Love you. Love you.
Thank you very much. Love you all, and all the very best.
Thank you so much. Bye.
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 Okay.
Woohoo. Dr. B, how was that?
That was fire. That was
I always love it.
awesome.
Yeah, I always love it when at least we get some practical tips and examples. Hi, Helen. Nice to see. We should see your face. Come on. Nice to see you. And yes, even though situations are always different, circumstances are different. There might be those stories in our minds that saying, oh, well, she works in a multinational. Oh, because her boss cares. Catch yourself and the stories that seem to spring up when you hear other people's stories. Because of course, yes, there is no situation that is the same, but take the lesson and just, look at it with the lens of yourself and where you are. So let's hear from one or two people before we wrap up. What did you learn from everything she said? What was spot on for you? And what is one thing you're taking away as we talk about makeovers and movement? And if you've not spoken today, feel free to take the floor and share. What is one thing you're taking away? Or you can put it in the chat box as well. Sephora, your hand is up.
Yes, hi. I would say one thing that resonated with me in what she said, totally different experience from where she's working in a multinational and where what I do. But the part about speaking up and going after what you want and just generally being vocal about where you want to go, what you want and what you need is so key. I've been sleeping on that. I was just like, light bulb went on in my head. And I find that when I ask, I actually receive. It's just that simple. I find out what I need. I define why I need it. And I just say it so boldly. Like, I need this and I need this support and I want this to be done. And I just get it. So if you don't, what I've learned is no one looks out for you. When you expect the structure to take care of your progression and take care of the next step or what you think you should get, it doesn't happen that way until you actually vocalize it or go after it deliberately.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thanks for sharing, Sephora. Anyone else? What are you taking away? Oh, Temi T, nice to see you. Just say hi before you go. We didn't even see your face.
Hi,
CEO, CHRO, see everything. How is it going on your side? Let's say hello before you go. Say hi.
Hi.
Hey, hi. All right. There you
Yay.
are. Hi.
Good to see you.
The
Good
same
to see you. How's
here.
life
Been
on
a
your
while.
side?
Hectic, but coping, surviving.
Yes, yes, yes. The queen in her palace. A different
Ah.
season, different phase, trailblazing. We're all
Yes,
rooting for
definitely
you.
different season.
We're all rooting for
My
you.
Dr. B was saying that a lot of times you pray for something and when you finally like, oh.
I know. That's my life right now.
Honestly.
But you're not alone. You're not alone. Don't stay too far. Reach out. Let's see where we can help and channel. But your first 3 to 6 months for sure, it's a bit of adjustment and stuff. Breathe through it. Give yourself a day at a time. Leverage mentors wherever you can, both upwards and downwards. And after a while, you will see that you're balancing with both buttocks. Boom, boom, boom.
I can't
boom,
wait.
But nice to see you. Nice to see you. Take care.
Thank
Helene,
you.
let's see your
Thanks for the
face. We haven't seen
session.
you in a while as well.
Hi, Moreniketu.
Moreniketu, show us your face. Yes, yes, we like to see faces, please. Yeah.
Good to see you.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. I'm just really
How was the session for you?
tired, so that's why I put up my video.
You look nice. This amazing beauty. You should be sharing this beauty with us. Don't just keep it to yourself on Zoom.
I found the session really powerful, and I think it's just what I needed at this time, because I am at that phase where I know I've been talking about this a lot, but really just trying to pinpoint what next. I want to be able to articulate in one sentence what that next thing is. So I found it really, really insightful. One of the things that I'm taking away right now that I think I will put to use from Monday is what she said about adaptability. Adaptability being now we have new management, and it's been extremely difficult. So I think that I have to be able to adapt to this new style and, forget about how it was done in the past and just adapt to this new style. And she also talked about communicating upwards and downwards. I think that's something I also need to work on. So those are two things that I think I will put to practice from Monday.
Wonderful. And yes, I think there are many, all right, Sephora, take care. There are many companies also who are changing leadership. And with leadership comes a different dynamics as well. So it's also important, that self-awareness, that what has changed around me and what do I need to adjust, either from a personal or professional point of view. It's also important to assess that. So with the changes you're going through will come some form of transition. And as you go through that day by day, please know that you're not alone. Leverage for help, leverage for resources, and see how you can move through that phase. After a while, everyone adjusts, at some point. So we'll see how it goes. But nice to see your face. Our love to Olive, you've not heard from her as well. Just send her our greetings and love as well. All right, Dr. B, any announcements for today as we wrap up?
Yeah, as we wrap up too, one thing I also wanted to recap from her session, she did mention about crafting your elevator pitch. I think that's definitely a good one for each and every one of us, whether as a career professional or a side hustle business or business entrepreneur. It's great to have our elevator pitch together where we can concisely state who we are, what we do, and what we hope to gain from the networks and the stakeholders that we're interacting with. So it's a month of makeovers and moving forward. So, for the makeovers, some of us might need to update our resumes. I'm one of them. If you don't have a professional headshot or if you need to update it, now is a good time. Summer is here. The sun is out. Parties are happening everywhere. So make that happen, review your networks. Sephora is laughing. Review your networks, see who you need to connect with, who it's been a while that might be that sponsor that will get you to the next level. And, we all thrive in community, and that's what we've seen from today. Sometimes when we're in our own little corner, we think everything is not going well or we're not doing so great. But when we come together as a group and we see that, okay, we're all experiencing the same thing, we have the ability to be able to ginger ourselves up and look forward and move on. And that's what Trailblazer Femme is all about. So thank you. It's been great seeing all of you again. Our power sessions are definitely opportunities to connect face to face. Check on those who are not here, we'll check on them. And like we said, we're transitioning to the Facebook group. And the main reason behind that is so that we can effectively archive conversations and people can search information and find what they need, rather than new people not having the information that we've shared before, or you join the WhatsApp group and there's 70 messages and you're like, you know what, there's no way I'm reading all the 70 messages. But, if you go to the Facebook group, you can search and everything. We're constantly evolving and we want to hear from you. Please provide your feedback, whatever is going well for you with TFM, let us know. If there's something else you want to see, if there are people in high places that you want to connect us with, we want to hear about them and connect with them. So this is us. It's not just Fofo or Dr. B dishing out stuff. This is us. This is community. This is a tribe. This is a network. So we all make it work. And thank you again.
All right, wonderful. It's been a wonderful time. We're updating. So just like Dr. B said, we're updating the Facebook group with folders and links and resources. Many of us have said we're very busy at work. What are the future skills? What are the things that you need from a career plan or from a career progression or from a work standpoint? You're looking for a checklist, you're looking for a video, you're looking for some resources. This is the time you can use the Facebook group to ask some of those questions. And I'm sure there'll be somebody that can link you up with someone or at least share some resources that you might need. Trailblazers don't walk alone. If you want to go far, go together. And there's power in doing that together. So if there's something you're struggling with, leadership, core skills, power skills, communication, even the elevator pitch she talked about, there's any of those that you're struggling with or you see you need, or maybe you learned something in one of your courses and you feel it could be helpful to the rest of the group, please feel free to use the Facebook group to share that. And we look forward to seeing you again next month. We're looking forward to opening our membership again within June, July. And that will be for the next season. So just throwing it out there, if you have friends, colleagues, people that you feel should be a part of this network, feel free to let them know. They can join the waitlist now and we'll open that up in another month or two. All right, any other thoughts from everyone? Any other thoughts before we go? I don't think we had any hot seats for today, no case studies and stuff, but feel free to reach out or send us an email if you have any questions.
Yeah, we'll be doing that next month. We'll be having hands-on interactive session like we've done before, hot seats, group coaching. So if there's anything you want to prepare towards that, please work towards that. And it'll be in-house, hands-on, practical session next month by God's grace.
All right, that's it.
All right,
enjoy
everyone.
the rest of your weekend.
Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.